Hey Fractal fans, it's AustinBuddy. Happy 2024 and Happy New Year. I've got a new tone pack out. It is in response to what you guys told me you wanted. It is basically a clean tone pack. It's called the PlusPack, but it also has some other things in it, and I'm gonna have to walk you through that, which is gonna be great. That's what this video is about, to tell you what's in it, why it came about. I took a poll back a couple of years ago, and you guys said you wanted either a curated cleans or a single coil only pack, and so I've kind of combined those two into one thing. The most of you said that. And you guys also said you wanted an effects blocks tone pack, and I am working on that. It's a lot of work. It's going to take some more time. It's going to be great, but I wanted to get this out to you guys, and I want to explain sort of the logic that went into this. I'll talk about what's in the zip file. I'll flash that up on the screen. Right now, this is January 2024, right before NAMM when I'm doing this video. This is available only at the moment for the Axe-FX III because the other firmwares haven't caught up to it yet for the FM9 and the FM3. But don't worry, when you buy this, you will get versions for all three when the firmwares catch up. So you'll have that. I'll add those to the download file once the firmwares come in and that it can work on all those. There may be some tweaks to the FM3 because of the lesser CPU. That'll be a little different than the FM9 and the Axe-FX III version. Okay, so what this is there's two banks in this plus pack for 2024, and I'm planning to do this every year as a plus pack, and you'll see why. The plus pack itself is dialed in for Strats and Teles single coil guitars, and it's about 90 different clean amps that I picked out from all the amp models. And I dial them in this room at live volume, so they're loud. They're not dialed in for your studio monitors. This is really important. This is dialed in for a gig and how you play. So it's like LiveGold in that sense. It's an add-on to LiveGold if you want to look at it that way, giving you another arsenal of cleans. And I didn't make them crunchy. They're mostly clean on purpose. And that makes them also great pedal platforms for the drive blocks and the other things that are in the Axe-FX. So kind of like you guys that have your own, you've played Fender Deluxes on whatever on stage, and then you add pedals to get your dirt. These are going to work really well for that, but they're going to feel and respond like a good tube amp would. I think you're going to really dig them. In addition to the cleans, this is also an update for both LiveGold and Naked Amp owners of the amps that have been added to the firmware in 2023. So LiveGold was last updated February 2023. So a bunch of amps have been added since then. They're not going to be in the LiveGold update that you'll get in a couple of months for this year. The new amps, when they come in, are now going to be all in the Plus Pack. So you'll need to get the Plus Pack if you want to get access to the amps that were not originally in the LiveGold. Same thing for Naked Amps. This is kind of my way of making sure that there are amp updates, and we're kind of running out of room in those anyway, but also because I don't want to go to a subscription model for updates. I would rather it stay free, but if enough people buy the Plus Pack, in essence, that's subsidizing the fact that I've got to update all these things every year. So there, as we'll walk through in a little bit, you'll see there are fewer amps updated for Naked Amps because that came out, last update was in September of 2023. And so it had actually all the new updates to that point. So anyway, I know you don't want to talk about this stuff. Let's talk about what's in the thing I'm going to flash up on the screen here, what's in the zip file, at least for the Axe-FX III. And you'll see that there are two banks on 24.04 when this is released. One is a cleans only bank, which I'm going to walk you through in a minute, and the other is the new amp update bank. I also am going to put in there my full FC12 layout for my Axe-FX III, as well as just the amp page layout, because you really need the amp page to use these to their fullest. I'll try and get one in at some point for the FC6, but I'm not going to probably be able to do it in time for this release. But in the future, hopefully there'll be that as well, just like I have. But if you've got LiveGold and you've got Naked Amps, either of those, you'll be familiar with the foot switch layout stuff already because it was built into those presets. All of that CS2, CS6 stuff is built into here as well. So that's really good news for you guys. So you can use the amp boost, you can use the bass cut, you can reverse the byte switch, which is really important on a lot of these amps because some of the amps are really bright. That's the way they are in real life. But you can always cut that. So let's talk about what's in each bank. So in bank 1, this is the cleans bank, and every preset's going to start. It's a clean preset that's designed for Strats or Teles is going to start with the plus sign. Okay, not like that. And that's so you can distinguish those from other presets that I've done. They end in .cx2 because that's the most recent firmware, the CX2 firmware, Cygnus X2. If Fractal moves to another one, that ending of the preset name will change. Now, I changed the names of these to make them fit into, as best I could, into your FC12 floor. There's like 10 character limit for that. So I did the best I could so that you'll be able to look at literally your floor unit and see everything and not have to run the editor. Doesn't always work perfectly, but so these names are maybe a little shorter than you've seen me use in the past, okay? So what you've got are the boutiques all organized together, and I did a few that maybe have a couple of different speaker options. You've got the Fenders. You've got the Class A amps, the no negative feedback amps, all in one area for cleans. You've got preamp cleans. You've got Mesa Boogie cleans type, that kind of style, Marshall style. Then I did some studio squeaky DI kind of cleans over here, you can see. You know, like 80s Strat quack stuff. There's a Rockman in here, for example. Then I did 2 presets that'll let you convert your Strat or your Tele kind of into an acoustic guitar, which is kind of cool on stage. So you've got that ability to do that. And then I actually did a couple of presets here for real acoustic guitars. Some people have asked for that. So you would just literally plug your guitar into something that's got a piezo or a piezo and a mic. And then I tried to dial out, notch out the things that usually you know, cause feedback through the monitors and stuff, although you can adjust that. So those are fun. I did that on my Martin D28. I did it on a Gibson Jumbo, and I've got a 12-string Recording King as well. And these are all reserved for future. If Fractal adds new clean amps into the firmware in the future, this time next year I'll release a 2025 PlusPack, and it'll have the new amps that are clean that I think are worthy in here. So that's what those are reserved for. So that's bank 1. Going to bank 2, these are the new amp models. So you get the LiveGold amp models here. LG stands for LiveGold, so you know the difference between that and Naked Amps. And that's really important if you're on like an FM3, because the Naked Amps only work on the FM9 and the Axe-FX III because they have 2 amp blocks and often 2 cab blocks, although with Dynacabs that's less of an issue. So these are all the amps, look at this, that Fractal has added since February of 2023. I put in an Eggonator Rebel here, which is really a Blues Junior with no negative feedback, just for fun as an emulation. But all these have been added up till about the last couple of weeks ago. So those are all new amps, and if you own LiveGold and you want access to these amps, you need to buy the PlusPack, and that's how this is going to work in the future. But I will update all the old LiveGold ones from last year sometime this spring and release that. I'm trying to do that on a yearly basis. And then, of course, I've got these reserved because, look, just in 1 year how much they've added. So we know we're going to add more for 2024. I'm sure of it. And then down here, after a little space, I've got the Naked Amps. And again, this is for the FM9 and the Axe-FX III only. If you try to import these, there won't be a file for these in your FM3 folder when that becomes available. But if you try to import them, you get half of them. You get 1 amp block and the cab block. So you could get some of it, you just won't get all the sounds. You'll get 4 scenes, not 8. The Naked Amps has 8 scenes with different ones. And so these are the ones that have been added, the amp models that have been added since September when I last updated Naked Amps. So it's a lot fewer because I'd already included the others in the Naked Amps thing. So that's what this is, and these will all be reserved for future updates as well. So that is the what's in the 2 banks. Let me talk a little bit about how the presets are set up. So let's go to